When we talk about what women really want in bed, most people think it's about technique or physical skill, but here's the truth. The most intense desires women hold are rarely physical at all. They're emotional, they're psychological, they're rooted in feeling. A woman may never say this out loud, but what she truly craves, deeply and secretly, is emotional safety. And when I say safety, I'm not talking about protection from harm. I'm talking about emotional freedom. The freedom to be fully herself, to explore, to express, and to let go without the fear of being judged, misunderstood, or diminished. This is the gateway to her deepest intimacy. Because if a woman doesn't feel emotionally safe with you, she may still go through the motions, but she won't surrender. Not fully. You see, women are biologically and psychologically wired to be more responsive than aggressive when it comes to sex. That means how you make her feel matters more than what you do. If you want to unlock a woman's full capacity for passion, you must first create an atmosphere where she feels safe to be vulnerable. This isn't weakness. This is the foundation of real connection. Imagine this. If she feels like she's constantly being compared to someone else, if she fears that her body, her moans, her movements will be critiqued or mocked, she won't show you who she really is. She won't express what she truly wants. She'll retreat into what's expected. And what a shame that is for both of you. True emotional safety in bed is about being seen and accepted. It's about knowing that if she wants to try something new, you won't flinch. If she gets emotional or breaks down in the middle of intimacy, you won't turn away. That if she expresses her fantasies, you won't shame her. You'll listen. Most men underestimate the power of presence. But I'll tell you this, if you're fully present with her, not rushing, not focused on performance or end goals, but with her, tuned into her rhythm, her breath, her energy, she will feel it, and her body will respond. Because when a woman senses that she can let her guard down without consequences, that she's safe from criticism and safe in your hands, that's when her full sensual self awakens. And let's be honest, most women are carrying emotional weight long before they enter the bedroom. Insecurity, past trauma, societal shame, self-judgment. These don't just disappear when the lights go off. But when a man shows her that he sees her, that he accepts her and isn't afraid of her emotional complexity, he becomes more than just a partner. He becomes a safe space. And that's magnetic. So no, it's not about being smooth or dominant or learning 100 techniques. It's about knowing that every touch, every word, every look tells her something. The question is, what are you telling her? That she's just a body? Or that she's someone worth exploring with depth, patience, and reverence? Because when a woman feels emotionally safe, she becomes adventurous, playful, honest, passionate. She brings her full self to the moment. And that is something no physical technique can ever replace. If there's one thing I want you to take away from this, it's this. Emotional safety is the silent key that unlocks a woman's wildest desires. She may never ask for it out loud, but if you can offer it consistently, gently, and without conditions, you won't have to wonder what she wants. She'll show you. Let's talk about confidence. Because this is where a lot of men get it wrong. And I don't blame them. Most men talk about confidence. Because this is where a lot of men get it wrong. And I don't blame them. Society teaches men that being confident in bed means being aggressive, dominant, or constantly in control. But that's not what women secretly crave. Not really. What they want, what they'll rarely say out loud, is a kind of confidence that's quiet, steady, and rooted in deep self-assurance. It's not about ego. It's not about showing off. It's about a man who knows who he is without needing to prove it. That kind of confidence creates an energy that's undeniable. You don't have to say a word. She can feel it. And when she senses that, she relaxes. She trusts. She opens up. Confidence, the kind that truly matters, is the ability to be fully present in the moment, without performance anxiety, without overthinking, without trying to be someone else. A man who is confident in bed doesn't seek validation from the experience. He's not there to win. He's there to connect. He listens, watches, adjusts. He doesn't panic if she's quiet or takes time to respond. He reads the room, and more importantly, he reads her. Now here's where the psychological depth comes in. Most women are incredibly intuitive. They can sense when you're pretending, when your confidence is just a mask for insecurity, when you're trying too hard, or when you're disconnected from your own body. She picks up on that. So if you're not grounded in who you are, if you're performing instead of connecting, she'll feel it and a wall will go up. But when you're calm, steady, and attuned to her, not seeking permission or approval, but simply being there, fully embodied, that's when you start to touch her on a level that isn't just physical. And ironically, that's what makes the physical so much more powerful. This kind of confidence also shows up in how you handle her response. If she's shy or uncertain or pulls away, do you take it personally? Or do you meet it with grace and curiosity? A confident man understands that her pace, her energy, her response, it's not a test of his worth. It's part of the dance. And he adjusts without ego. That's why confidence without ego is so rare and so irresistible. It says, I'm not here to impress you. I'm here to explore you. That subtle shift changes everything. Philosophically speaking, this is about more than sex. It's about your relationship with yourself. Because how you show up in the bedroom is a reflection of how you show up in life. If you're insecure, disconnected, or unsure of your own desires, you'll either overcompensate or shrink. But when you know yourself, your boundaries, your desires, your strengths, you become a source of calm, grounding energy. And that's the kind of energy a woman craves to surrender to. You don't have to be loud. You don't have to be perfect. You don't need a list of techniques. You need presence, patience, and the courage to show up as you are, without fear, without shame, and without needing her to complete you. Because the truth is, the most seductive thing a man can bring into the bedroom is his certainty. Not certainty in what he'll do, but in who he is. And here's the reflection I want to leave you with. A woman won't remember every move you made, but she will never forget how your energy made her feel. Let your confidence be the calm in the storm. Let it be the space where she can lose herself and find herself all at once. There's this myth that intensity equals satisfaction, that rougher, louder, faster is somehow better. And while that might be what we often see in movies or in the endless stream of exaggerated performances online, it's not what most women are truly craving behind closed doors. What many women want, but rarely articulate, is depth, stillness, slowness. They crave an experience that allows them to sink in, not just be swept up. You see, when a woman says she wants to feel connected, she doesn't mean you need to be constantly talking or dramatically romantic. She means she wants to feel you, your presence, your intention, your attunement. She wants to know that you're with her, not just doing things to her. And this is where we start to understand the craving for slow, deep intimacy. Because when you slow things down, your touch, your breathing, your pace, you give her the space to feel, to notice, to respond. You're not rushing her body to catch up with your rhythm. You're inviting her to lead with hers. That kind of patience is magnetic, it's rare, and it's unforgettable. Most women's arousal isn't a switch you flip, it's a fire you tend to. It grows gradually, with attention, with sensitivity. It's the subtle build-up, the way your fingertips trace her skin, the heat in your gaze, the pauses between movement. These small moments carry far more weight than any grand gesture. When a woman feels like you're paying attention to her, not just the fantasy in your mind, but the reality of her body and energy in that moment, she relaxes. Her nervous system softens. She lets go. Because what you're doing is offering her the freedom to be responsive, to be open, to be real. That's when true intimacy begins. Not when you touch her body, but when you touch her mind, her breath, her soul. And let's be honest, this depth requires maturity. It asks you to put aside ego. It demands that you unlearn everything you think you're supposed to do and instead focus on what feels right in the moment. Because the goal isn't to perform, the goal is to connect. And that connection is a dance, not a race. Philosophically, it's about honoring time. In a world obsessed with speed, efficiency, and instant results, intimacy is one of the few places where slowness is sacred. And when you treat it as such, you open a door to something transcendent. The truth is, anyone can move fast. But it takes courage, presence, and emotional intelligence to slow down, to let silence linger, to feel the weight of a kiss, to let your hand rest long enough that she wonders what you're thinking, not just what you'll do next. That's how you build anticipation. That's how you turn minutes into memories. This kind of intimacy isn't just physical, it's spiritual. It says, I see you, I'm here, I'm not going anywhere. And when a woman feels that, she doesn't just respond, she blooms. So don't underestimate the power of stillness, of slowness, of choosing depth over speed. Because when you stop chasing a climax and start cultivating a connection, everything shifts. And here's what I want you to carry forward. The real magic isn't in how fast you go, it's in how deeply you make her feel. Give her your presence, not your performance, because that's the kind of intimacy she'll never forget. There's something deeply human, deeply universal about the desire to be wanted, not just liked, not just loved, but desired. And for many women, this is one of the most sacred and secret longings, to feel deeply, genuinely desired, without ever having to ask for it. Now, that might sound simple on the surface, but there's so much more going on beneath. You see, we live in a world that often teaches women to downplay their sexuality, to be careful not to appear too much, too needy, too provocative. From a young age, many women are taught to suppress their sensuality in order to be respected. They're encouraged to be beautiful, but not too bold, to be attractive, but not too aware of it. So when it comes to intimacy, this deep inner conflict doesn't just disappear, even if she wants to be desired, wants to be ravished, craved, worshipped in the most powerful sense. She may not know how to say it, or she may fear that asking for it would make her look desperate, or worse, unworthy. But that desire is still there. It lives in her silence, in her pauses, in her eyes, when she looks at you and says nothing, hoping you'll feel what she won't say. This is why so many women crave to be desired spontaneously, passionately, and authentically, without asking for it. Because when you want her without condition or convenience, when you choose her in a moment that feels real and raw, what you're telling her is, I see you, I want you right now, as you are. That validation, when it comes from a place of truth, not manipulation, not fantasy, touches something sacred in her. Desire, when it's honest, creates a sense of aliveness. It's not about objectifying her, it's about recognizing her, seeing her fully, not just her body, but her essence, her energy, her magic. She wants to feel that she's not just part of your night, but the reason for it, that she hasn't become routine or background or expected, but rather that your desire for her is still alive, still present, still burning.